Another thing that comes up for me that is something that I've really just noticed in one of my friends who I adore, bless her heart. She points some things out to me that are kind of rough at times, and I'm like, oh, why do you have to say it like that? But then it gets me thinking about what's actually going on. She goes, well, you keep saying that your friends leave you. It's because you're not really yourself with them. You give them what they want, you tell them what they want to hear so that they'll be your friend. And then when the real you comes out, they leave. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, how has this been happening to me for 34 years that I've never made that connection? Nobody ever told me that that was the thing. I just thought that I had a terrible personality because people have told me, you have a terrible personality. So it was like,
well, at least it stings less if you've had a terrible personality and it wasn't you to begin with.
right.
So you've just done a terrible job at making up a personality.
Right. Right. So now it's like, okay, I know what I'm doing wrong now. So I have two questions. Like, how do I stop doing that? And how do I show people my real personality at the start rather than what they want to know, what they want to see, what they want to hear?
I think every time that we don't speak up for ourselves, it's this, like, you're building resentment towards someone else. And ultimately it falls back on us, because I'm the one saying that I shouldn't voice that I deserve this kind of space because I'm paying rent for this space. And I wonder if the same thing is happening in friendships too, where it's easier than to cut off the friendship because you're not emotionally attached at all. Like, you actually want to have a good relationship, but then you're avoiding attaching any feelings to it because it's easier to disconnect from it. In that situation that you said, I wonder if the avoidant factor is more of like setting up a block so you don't have to feel anything if they were to hurt you, because that would mean that then you were like, this way you're just like avoiding any feelings at all.
Yeah.
I am also an avoidant. I feel like, so this wisdom is not just because I'm like well read, it's also because but there's four different styles, and I think they also show up differently. Like, the anxiously attached is the clingy person, right? Like, they're like so afraid that if you leave them, their world's going to fall apart. We have different aspects of each one of those, just like the same as, you know, this personality test. But I think it really helps kind of start to shape, like, if this person tells me they no longer want to be my friend, will I still be okay? Will I still have love for myself? Will I still feel I'm worthy? Again, it's like that. Even though it's avoidant attachment, it's still an attachment to something external to fulfill you, right? And that's not to say that we don't deserve to have friends and all of that, but it becomes a different level where your cup is so full that it's like anyone outside of that is just pouring into this overflowing. They're not taking anything away. They're not filling anything up. It's just participating in this, like, if I fully show, as particularly, you know, for an introvert, like, if I've filled my own cup, if I've it's like the only time that I feel like, okay, now I can really give to my family, my clients, my friends, is when I have this overpouring of love, because I've already taken the time. I've taken the time to, like, take a bath and relax. I've taken the time to look myself in the mirror. I've taken the time to nourish myself, take a nap, all of those things, like all of those things that really fuel us up. Then I can really show up for you. And those are the relationships that do take a little bit more time, because it takes intention to do this for yourself first. And then the way that we show up for other people is in a whole other level, because we're coming from a filled place. We're not coming from an empty place where I think it's also easier to start like conflicts and arguments and like nitpick at each other and participate in that, like, how far can we bring each other down situation. So